Some of the strongest opposition to the Northern Gateway pipeline comes from the Aboriginal community. Today, the Haisla Nation questioned Enbridge for hours on potential risks of the project. While it's taking part in the hearings, it has stated publicly its opposition to the pipeline. Other First Nations groups have boycotted the process altogether.
They normally speak out loud and clear on the issue, but this is one arena where the Carrier-Sakani Tribal Council is silent. It doesn't regret its boycott of the Joint Review panel.
We don't agree with the Canadian environmental assessment process. It has been watered down for quite some time. There are provisions taken out in 2003, 2007, and now with Bill C-38 this past year, it really doesn't cover our values.
There's a number who've chosen not to be part of the process. Some of those who have signed on equities are not here part of the process either. I'm not sure I'd read anything into whether they're here or not here.
But other First Nations are actively engaged. Haisla First Nation, represented by 4 lawyers, question Enbridge all day. They raise concerns regarding the construction plans, including the seismic analysis, as well as possible flooding along the pipeline route.
We're covering off all the bases. I think after this project is approved, which we think it's going to will ultimately happen with Harper and Joe Oliver, I think we're going to do some litigation, and I think it's not only us, there'll probably be other First Nations involved.
Haisla Nation had already announced its opposition before the hearings, but Enbridge hopes to sway them in a new direction.
I'd have to say yes. We are in dialogue. We have continual dialogue with all First Nations, and we'll continue that process over the next couple of years. We have some time in our hands. This isn't being decided today. We're not going to have a decision tomorrow.
While dozens of First Nations have publicly opposed the $5.5 billion project, Enbridge says there are many on board.
We're continuing to have dialogue with all the First Nations along the corridor. We have 60% who have signed on to the equity agreement, and we are continuing in dialogue with others to talk about other benefit packages.
Well, I think some First Nations have no other ways of generating economic activities, so some have decided to look at this as a potential for economic activity. But what I really want to know is, have they really consulted their constituents, their people?
Meantime, a new Angus Reid poll of British Columbians shows a majority in our province oppose the controversial project. Aileen Machel, CKPG News.